everyone, Mauricio Rauld here, founder of Premier Law Group, your premier syndication attorneys, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the 3 reasons why insurance sucks. Now, just because something sucks doesn't mean we don't use it, and the same applies to any insurance policy. I strongly believe that everyone should have insurance as their first line of defense in any asset protection plan. My biggest issue is that too many rely on insurance as their only asset protection plan without any backstop in case one of these 3 issues arises. I think everybody should have some form of an entity structure or maybe even an asset protection trust in place in case that first line of defense, the insurance policy, fails. So let's get right into it. The number 1 reason I believe insurance policies suck is because of the exclusions. As you probably know, insurance policies are riddled with exclusions, which is why way too many people are making their monthly premium payments thinking that they're covered for something, but when that something happens and it's time to collect, the insurance company denies their claim. You've probably heard about how insurance companies make a living in denying claims, and then you've got to fight them tooth and nail in order to get your policy to kick in. And the reason why is because of all these exclusions. In fact, insurance policies are so freaking complicated that I highly recommend people use or hire an insurance attorney to actually review your policy so that they can determine what's included and what's not included in your coverage. That way you can make a determination whether you want to fill that gap with some kind of a rider or an addendum. But they're so complicated that if you've actually read an insurance policy, you'll actually see that they include something on, paragraph 2, then they take it away in paragraph 20, and then they put it back in paragraph 52. They're so complicated that if you don't actually use an attorney or pay very close attention, you won't actually realize that what you think you're covered for is actually excluded. Reason number 2 why insurance sucks is underinsured. Now, this is not obviously an issue from the insurance companies, but a lot of people tend to have the minimum insurance, or maybe they have a $1 million policy or a $3 million policy thinking that's enough. But in my world, where I'm dealing with real estate syndicators who are buying big apartment buildings, a lot of times some of these claims can be in the tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Not too long ago in my alma mater, one of the apartment buildings, the balcony collapsed, and all these kids who were having a party fell from, I think it was 6 or 7 stories, and a lot of them died and had serious injuries. Your $1 million policy or $3 million policy isn't going to cover you for those types of injuries, which is why not only do you want to try and get as much insurance as you can so you have a good first line of defense, but if somebody comes to you with a $5, $10, $50, $100 million claim, you've got a backstop. You've got those entities, you've got those asset protection trusts that can cover you for claims that exceed whatever limits you put on. And the final reason is a lot of times, especially in these days, a lot of insurance companies end up going bankrupt. Especially if you get an insurance company that hasn't been around for a long time, maybe they're exclusively on the internet, it's not uncommon for you to make your monthly payments, and then when it comes times to collect, they're actually not there anymore. Or maybe there's a catastrophic event and there's so many claims that come in that the insurance company doesn't have as sufficient reserves, and so they end up having to file for bankruptcy, leaving you SOL. So again, when that happens, you want to make sure you have those backstops in the form of entity structurings or asset protection plan. So make sure you have your insurance policy, but just make sure it's not your last line of defense. Make sure it's your first line of defense.